Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your April 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, you will find all sorts of goodies to explore, including a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. But before you do that, I would like to remind you that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. So please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. I would also like to share with you that the reason you are getting this particular reading this late in the month is because of this solar eclipse and Mercury retrograde energy. So I first got this spread that I've created for this reading at the end of March, and I am one who is led tremendously by my intuition and have not felt called to really dive into these readings until right about now. And I feel like the reason for that is because this spread is looking at what you can do to align with your highest timeline and Christ consciousness, what is helping your soul to evolve, what's limiting your soul's evolution, and also giving you advice, encouragement, and guidance moving forward. That being said, with this solar eclipse and this Mercury retrograde energy, I feel like whatever comes through here for you is going to be amplified. Right? I feel like these are things that are going to be needing your attention, as it were, or are going to have the pressure put on, right? Because retrogrades and solar eclipses often bring up like karmic energies. That's why I feel like this is happening right now, right? And that's not to say that you may not have already been experiencing these things or won't after the fact, but I just feel like at this time, these energies are so powerful that it's really going to bring these things to the surface. And if that rings true for you, then getting these messages at this time may be helpful for you in navigating them, right? It's not going to be something that you forgot about because you watched this reading like 3 weeks ago. Okay, so that is why you're being given this information now, and I'm really hoping that it is helpful for you. So thank you so much for joining me. I truly do appreciate your time, your attention, your energy, and of course, your lovely company. So let's dive in and see what's going on for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what can Pisces do to align with their highest timeline and Christ consciousness, please? All right, straight out there. Lovely. Nice direct message as well. I love that. What's helping Pisces to evolve, please? I don't know why, but I'm getting this energy. Okay, thank you. Of, I feel like you may have hit some roadblocks or something, or hit some walls, and I feel like those are helping you to evolve, though it may not seem that way. So that's really interesting. Okay, what is limiting Pisces evolution, please? Yeah. What is limiting Pisces evolution? Thank you. How would you like? Yeah. Interesting. All right. Can we please have some advice, encouragement, or guidance for Pisces? Okay, thank you. Look at this. You have literally just 4 individual cards. Not very many signs had this few. Not to say that there were many, but it's very interesting to me because that tells me that these messages are very direct, very to the point. So let's see what you have here. What can you do to align with your highest timeline and Christ consciousness? So you do have here solar light upgrade. solar plexus chakra, inner fire, and willpower. Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I'm getting here with this card. I do feel like what you can do to align with your highest timeline is to literally follow what lights you up. Okay? Because here's the thing, the sun is, again, that willpower, obviously, like it says it there, right? It is that inner fire. It's that um vitality, life force, spirit, purpose, right? As well as like leadership. And I feel like this for you, and I'm not saying that you're not a leader, I'm not saying that you don't have inner fire, but I feel like there's something here about connecting to things that feel purposeful for you, right? You may be somebody who does have inner fire or who does have a lot of willpower, but maybe you're applying it to things that aren't incredibly meaningful to you, or maybe they are, but not at a very deep level, not from your soul or your spirit. I'm actually getting like this weird throat thing happening right now, which is often connected with truth. So I feel like there's some aspect where you could be pursuing things or putting your energy into things that maybe you enjoy them, right? But maybe they're not things that like really spark life within you, that really, maybe bring about your creativity, or bring out compassion or emotion, or, maybe they're not acts of service or things that really bring up this sense of purpose for you, right? So again, like, that's not to say that you're not doing things that maybe you don't enjoy, or things that maybe are meaningful to some degree, but I feel like whatever it is, it may not be like incredibly deep, right? It may not be like, this is my purpose in life, this is why I'm here, this is what I live for, this is blissful to me, this brings tremendous joy into my being, right? I for whatever reason, I feel like this is what this energy is about for you. And I feel like this is what you're meant to be aligning with in order to get more into what is in accordance with your highest timeline, what is going to bring you the most evolution, what is going to bring you the most advancement in your spirit, right? In your soul, and make you, the word that keeps coming in a lot is purpose. Okay? It's purpose. I feel like this is something that you're being asked to align with, your purpose. What fills you up, right? What ignites fire within you? It's very fascinating to me. Very, very fascinating to me. And because I feel like for some of you, and maybe this isn't everyone, okay, but I feel like for some of you, there is this, how would you say, I feel like there's like an awareness or something of perhaps situations or experiences or things that are calling to you, right? Pulling on your soul. And I feel like some of you may be in kind of this, maybe a good way to put this would be like an escapist mentality or something, where you're not acknowledging that. You're like, okay, I don't want to deal with that, because if I answer that call, if I answer that pull, that means I'm going to have to address certain things, right? And those may be things that you are fearful of. Those may be things that stir discomfort within you, or maybe, again, it feels kind of fearful. This is so fascinating. I just have to share this. So I'm sitting here and I have my window open and I'm looking out, and there's just been a crow that's flown by and landed outside. And this is what's fascinating about this. It's near these dumpsters or garbage cans. And what I'm being given here is that I feel like psychically, okay, or intuitively, spiritually, there are things that are essentially trash, right? So essentially things that are no longer serving you, essentially things that, again, are like, it's like trash in your life, right? And I feel like to some degree or another, you know that these are things that you're meant to be getting rid of, because I don't feel like they're not conducive to your life. Okay, this could be behaviors, this could be ways of being, this could be stories that you've been telling yourself, this could be people, this could be living arrangements, or it can be a multitude of things, of course, depending on your story. But I feel like there's an aspect where you have been essentially ignoring that, and I feel like this trash is just kind of like piling up. And this here, I feel like you're being asked to reach down within yourself and find that inner fire to burn it all, get rid of it all, and move forward into a space where what you're doing is purposeful, which is fascinating because I just looked up and we were at 1111. This is the number of epiphanies. This is a number of awakening. This is a number of things dropping in your field to shake things up, essentially. Right? And like I said, I feel like to some degree you may be aware of this. So in order to align with your highest timeline, I feel like, again, this is about you digging down within yourself, allowing the trash, as it were, to be removed, burnt up from your field, right? Burning is pure, it's purification. And it's interesting because, again, we have this inner fire, right? And sunlight, which sunlight is purifying as well. So I feel like that's a big part of what you're being asked to do. In addition to that, if we look at Christ consciousness now, I am not talking about Christ from a dogmatic religion perspective, okay? I'm talking about the Christ impulse within you and Christ consciousness. If you are to align with that, which is how you evolve as a soul, then that is going to require you to purify your heart. Okay? It's going to require you to be very truthful, very honest. Because if you are living in delusion or lies, you are out of alignment with that and you are devolving. I'm just being honest here. Okay? I know that may not be what you want to hear, but that is what's coming through. So it's very interesting to me. I do want to read to you from the book. I'm only going to read the interpretation of this card, not the message that comes with it. But I do want to share with you what it says there. And again, consider this. Oh yeah, my throat just did a weird thing too. So I definitely feel like this is about being truthful with yourself. So let me see here. Yes. Oh, what was it? Yes. So please do, when I'm reading this, consider this from the perspective of what you can do to align with your highest timeline, okay? And Christ consciousness. Okay. So it says here, the solar plexus chakra is found just above the belly button in the pit of the stomach. It's the energetic gateway that governs our gut, our instincts, and on an energetic level, our willpower and drive. This space can be described as a glowing sun. It is the space of warmth that gives us the necessary focus and energy to fulfill our purpose and realize our dreams. When the solar light gateway opens, our solar plexus becomes an infinite well of light in the pit of our being. This is the source of daily inspiration and ancient wisdom. When we feel our willpower increasing, we are remembering that we have prepared for many incarnations for the opportunities we have today. Right? So again, like I was saying, this is certainly about you aligning with that purpose, the reason why you're here. Okay? So I also feel like a big part of this is with Christ consciousness, it is about how you can be or um, being in a space of being of service to humanity and to the world, right? And so when you align with your purpose, oftentimes that is something from a soul perspective, right? And it's not to say that you don't have other things that you're meant to be accomplishing, but from a soul perspective, oftentimes our purpose is in alignment with being of service to others, right? It is very selfless, it is sacrificial. Okay, so take it as it resonates with you. Let's see what's helping you to evolve. You do have the Father here, which I just got chills, okay, because oftentimes God, especially in Christianity, is referred to as the Father, or we can look at the hierarchy of angels and look at the seraphim, which are to, receive the ideas of the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or like this is the Trinity. So it's interesting to me that this comes up for you and what's helping you to evolve, because for whatever reason I feel Pisces and maybe not everyone will resonate with this, because I'm getting kind of like what is the word I'm looking for, like um a shrinking, I guess you could say, or a repulsion to God. But again, I'm not talking about dogmatic religion God, or like some man in the sky who's shaking his finger at you. But I feel like for some of you, like what could be helping you to evolve is literally reconnecting with God. And maybe some of you have found that. Okay. If not, I feel like you may be called toward God, and that could help you to evolve. However, we do have here the Father, like I was saying, in the light attribute or upright position, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit, right? So it's interesting because I was saying that leadership type of energy, in addition to being of service to others. And that is what I feel coming here for you, right? I feel like what is helping you to evolve is that you have within you, okay? And I'm getting fear because I feel like some of you are, I don't know how to explain this. I feel like some of you have a fear of being in that leadership position when it comes to, say, a family. Okay. Now, whether, and you can take that how it resonates, whether that be like a family that you come into. So, say a significant other who has children, or creating a family of your own, or having a family in general, right? Because that's what we're looking at from like a tribal perspective or a tribal unit. I feel like some of you may have fears about this, but you have within you, right, that talent. And I feel like for some, this is something, I almost feel like there's like this, it's like this conflicting energy. And I feel like this may come from a little bit of that escapism or escapist kind of mentality. Maybe you had a really rough childhood. Maybe you experienced some things from a father or father figure that were, I don't know, put into your belief system that it's not something that's for you. Maybe you have a fear of being negative in that regard, right? Like of being, how would you say? Um, it feels to me like for some there could be this fear of like being a detrimental figure or something like I don't know, like not wanting to take on that responsibility because what if you something, right? I don't know what that means. Maybe you'll know, right? For some it may resonate with some. But I really feel like what's helping you to evolve is literally you have that within you. Now, whether or not you choose to acknowledge that is completely up to you. We have free will here. That is part of being incarnated on this plane. on earth at this time. Like that is, we have that within us. We have free will. And so you can absolutely live a lie. And it's just how it's going to be. But again, when we're looking at this from what is helping you to evolve, it's I feel like you have all the foundations, and I feel like it is calling to you. Whether or not you acknowledge it, I feel like it is calling to you. I also feel like for some reason, I feel like there's an aspect for some of you where you are or do support life, and maybe that's not necessarily from an offspring perspective, right? And this doesn't mean that you have to be a male, by the way. I just want to make that very clear. So let's say you don't have kids, but you have plants or like a garden, or maybe animals or something like that. Like I feel like you have this within you to be life-giving, right? To be, how would you say, essentially, like, I don't know what the word is here. I'm looking. I don't know. It's almost like seeing the spiritual aspect of life, but maybe not wanting to take responsibility for some. This isn't for everyone, of course, but maybe not wanting to take responsibility for actually producing life or creating actual, like, people, human beings. It's very interesting. But again, it is helping you to evolve. I feel like you have those leadership qualities within you. And so even if you aren't, like I said, using them in a family dynamic, I feel like you probably have, at some point or another, if not now, been in a leadership position. This could be at work. This could be even, let's say, in your family unit. That's maybe not your own family, though it could be. Um, I feel like you have that within you, and I feel like it's trying to, yeah, it just feels like it's trying to come forth further, because I feel like it's part of your purpose. Very fascinating to me. Take that as it resonates with you, of course. So what is limiting your evolution? Okay, so I just have to tell you, I looked up and we were at 2222. So you could be seeing repeating ones or 1111. You could be seeing repeating twos or 2222. And feel free, obviously, to research those numbers specifically on your own. But twos are about partnerships, which is fascinating AF, because it's just what we were talking about, in some regard, right? Because you do enter a partnership with another being, should you choose to become a parent, of course. And then also twos can be about balance as well as choices. So I feel like, again, there's like choices to be made here. Are you going to choose to dig down within yourself and move forward? Are you going to choose to enter into partnerships, right, that are, I want to say pure. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like I need to say pure. Partnerships that are pure. I don't know if that means that may be specific for someone. But again, I feel like there are choices to be made. And I feel there's partnerships coming in from different aspects, like pure partnerships with other human beings, but also partnerships with God, with angels as well. Because you do have a guardian angel, you do have angelic, what did I say? Angelic frequency within you. You have those within you, and so I feel like there's a need to have a partnership with that energy, with that frequency within you as well. But I also feel like the purity in partnership, say from a human perspective, is coming from that need for balance, which is again why I feel like there's this energy here of burning up or getting rid of trash, releasing things that are not serving you, because I feel like it will bring you back into balance. Okay. So let's see, what's limiting your evolution, Pisces? You have the Virgin here in the reverse or shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. Isn't that fascinating? Fascinating, based on what was coming through here. Right, and like I said, maybe you've experienced something in your past, perhaps with a father figure, or your father, where you've took on a belief that that's not for you, that that shouldn't be for you. And here's the thing, being a father or a parent requires you to be intimate. It absolutely. If you, I mean, to be good, to be a good parent, it requires you to be vulnerable with your children, to be intimate with your children, to allow them to um, sit in your heart. Okay. And so, that, I mean, it's very interesting to me. In addition to that, like I was speaking on earlier, when you, um, or rather, for you to evolve, right, with Christ consciousness, or overall, like in order for you to evolve, you have to align with Christ consciousness, with that Christ impulse, which involves purity of the heart, which involves love specifically, right? You like, I mean, it's part of what we're doing here. It's part of the humanity's mission is to bring love. And I know that sounds very like, I don't know, romantic movie or something, but it's very true. Um, this is something that Rudolf Steiner speaks about in Anthroposophy, or in his teachings, right? So I feel like this and look at this, like this, there's all of these hearts here on this card. So yeah, I feel like this is part of what's limiting your evolution, Pisces, is that fear of it's interesting because it's almost like fear of being dependent, right? Like I'm afraid to love somebody and be dependent on that love, which is very interesting to me. And again, maybe some of you will resonate with that, maybe some of you won't. And it's super fascinating for me for this to come up because as Pisces, I mean, you are a bit of a romantic. I mean, overall, that is an attribute when we describe Pisces. It's an attribute. In the tarot, you're also represented by, I mean, not just this card, but by the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is an energy of it. He wears his heart on his sleeve. All right. The Knight of Cups is someone who's very romantic, very sensitive, right? Charming, idealistic, follows its heart. And so, it's interesting, like I was saying, for you to get this card. And I feel like that this is because I feel like you're denying aspects of your truth, of yourself. And perhaps it's because you have all this trash built up. And by trash, I just want to be very clear. Like, by trash, I mean things that are not serving you, belief systems, paradigms, wounds, traumas, programming that is not serving you. Okay. So, if you want to be able to align with your highest timeline and to evolve, then working through this sphere of intimate union is what's going to have, you're gonna have to purify your heart, essentially. And I want to lovingly say, Pisces, that you can only be as intimate with others as you are with yourself, because we can only understand and dive as deeply with others as we do ourselves. As within, so without. You probably have heard this at some point. As above, so below, type of things. And so, this is it's what it's going to take. So, I would encourage you to nurture that intimate union with yourself, right? And this is part of being as well a balanced, which is interesting because you have those two showing up. This is part of being a balanced human being, is embodying things like love, like that power, um, wisdom, but doing so from a place of integrity, from goodness, from strength, right? Not from a place of fear or passivity or anger or self-loathing or shame or guilt or any of those sorts of things, but from a place of, like I'm saying, like strength and goodness and power and love and wisdom and joy and compassion and things like this, right? So let's see what you have here for your advice and encouragement. Oh yes, you have a transformation here with Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Zadkiel, for supporting me to transform my past challenges. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I said that I think for some of you, ooh, I just gnashed my teeth together. You guys, this is going to be a decision. This is going to be a choice. It has to be a choice. Right? And I feel like when I gnash my teeth together, like some people don't, it doesn't bother them so much, but it does me. And that's indicative for me or lets me know that this decision was probably uncomfortable. Right? It's probably jolting in a sense. Um, But Archangel Zadkiel is the angel of righteousness and of the violet flame. And the thing about the violet flame is like radical transformation, right? Also fascinating, again, because we talked about burning. You have inner fire up here with the solar light upgrade. And now you have Archangel Zadkiel, which again is the angel of the violet flame, right? This is, it's incredible transformation. And so, you know, I feel like there has to be this radical acceptance of the changes that need to be made in order for you to truly align with your highest timeline and what you're supposed to be doing here. It's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful indeed. I actually feel like let me just see if I can't find this book here, because I want to read to you what the book says in regards to Archangel Zadkiel, just to give you a little bit more depth on this advice. Oh my gosh, if I can find it. Okay. So it says here, and just keep in mind this is advice, encouragement, or guidance. The angels are encouraging you to see that there are many opportunities to transform at this time in your life. You may feel emotional or overwhelmed by your feelings or even angry. But please be assured that this is the process of transformation taking place. Your energy is now being stripped of anything that is no longer serving you. Yeah. And you may feel open and vulnerable, but please know the angels are looking after your mental, physical, and emotional well being. Right now, you are a caterpillar tucked inside its cocoon, but soon you will be a vibrant butterfly. The angels are here to acknowledge the emotional and physical transformations that have taken place in your life. They can see you more clearly now that you have released the old and dusty thoughts, actions, and situations from your life. You are moving to a space where you are more comfortable in your skin than ever. You have transformed yourself physically and emotionally, and this is seen through the strength of your very divine and aligned spirit. Zadkiel's name means righteousness of God. He is the angel who brings emotional balance and helps us to transmute any negative experience into a focus for love and learning. He is the keeper of the violet flame, a spiritual energy space where we can go to release and surrender anything that is no longer serving us. Raguel and Zadkiel are the angels of justice, here to bring balance and harmony. Right? So the first two paragraphs are the ones that I feel resonate most with what's already come through for you. Though that's not to say that, again, because like I said in the very beginning of this reading before we dove in, it's not to say that this hasn't already been taking place. Right? So maybe you are already somebody who has started working through these things. And if so, you know, I would say this is pretty tremendous confirmation for you to let you know that it's being recognized, even if there's no one else to see it. Okay. super powerful for you, Pisces. I pray that this is helpful for you in your evolution and aligning you with your highest timeline and Christ consciousness. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you today. If there has been something here that has resonated, for you, or you find valuable, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow by telling YouTube that there may be something here for someone else as well. So thank you so much for doing that. I pray that you have an incredibly powerful month, that you are able to pursue that which makes you feel alive, which makes you want to pursue your purpose, to be intimate with other people, and to radically transform your life, or to continue down that path. Take care of your magnificent soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.